So, kind of neat. I came through a post on Facebook there. They had said he was running his tube amp. I think it was an Engel Savage, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. There, something. It was a 120 watt amp anyway, and he was running that into the front of his Axe FX2. He was using his Axe just with the just for your power amp and for your IRs and whatnot. And so I was wondering, like, how you must be using a load box or something. So basically, you're going into load box into your Axe FX and using like those IRs or something. Now this guy, unfortunately, he was just running his out right into the Axe FX, and he's lucky because he didn't have a load on his freaking cab or nothing. So I'm lucky he didn't blow up his cab or his head, because you always have to have some sort of load box or something on your or plugged into a cab, otherwise you blow the transformer. So what I did is that I took my FX Send from my, I have a Bugera, can't really see it there, but a Bugera 6262 120 watt head. It's basically a 6505 clone. So what I did is I took that. I'm running a Donner noise killer and a vintage overdrive, like basically 808 sort of tube screamer in front of it. So what it is, I run the FX Send into the front of my Axe FX2, and then I used one of these little bad boys, just, you know, one of those little friggin' adapter things. I plugged that into the FX Return. Now what that does is it cuts all the volume down, because it sort of thinks that you have a return out going in, like it sort of quiets it right down. So basically I have all the settings at 6, like bass, middle, treble, presence all at 6, gain at 6. It's a 6505 clone, so it's pretty much the 666 settings that work great. So what I did is, and I had the freaking pregame up to like 5 at one point in time there, just to sort of see. So basically what I did is on my Axe FX, I'm running the Tube Pre, which I was told just from reading it is that basically that, because you still want to use your power amp sort of settings to simulate a power amp. So basically I have that. A Tube Pre is basically your flat, super flat setting. So basically I use that, and then just a cab, just I think the Ricto SM57 that was in the Axe FX. Actually, it worked really good, because I mean you'll still get some sound out of the cab because you have to have your cab pulled in. I don't have a load box or anything, so you get some sound out of the cab. I'll do a little test there in a second just to give you an idea of what the volume, like the room volume is, and it's actually not too bad. So I did a little recording demo of basically the Bugera using a IR from the Axe FX. It actually turned out really good there, and it's going to be cool too, so I can sort of get an idea what that sounds like. Because, I mean, it's basically a 6505 clone, well, 6505 plus clone. So I can get an idea what that sounds like, and I can sort of try and emulate that sound with my 5150 block letter, or 5150 plus sort of amp I have in the Axe FX, and try and sort of get sort of similar tone using the same IR and everything. That way I can sculpt and get a much better sort of live sound. That way it seems much more like the amp. So what I'll do is I'll show you the room volume, and then I'll do a quick little video of me just doing a playthrough of the demo song. It's like a 3-minute demo song I just did I'm going to be testing out different amp settings and shit like that in the Axe FX. So cool. So as you can hear now, there's a bit of a hum. I mean, that's more of a house thing or whatnot, but so you'll get a little bit of hum. But it is what it is. I got to figure out which of my grounding is and which sort of room or whatnot, but this is what you're gonna get. I mean, it's not that loud. I mean, it's not apartment level, but it's, I mean, right now I'm at 5 on the pre-gain, so I mean, the volume, if this, you wouldn't be able to play a show with this if this was actually real fucking levels, man. I should mention too, I'll try 2 different ones, because I'm using the preamp out into my Axe FX. I might try and do the FX Send out and see if there's a difference between the two. I'm not 100% sure. But we can do the demo and see what it sounds like. If I can turn this off. Okay, so that was sort of the little experiment sort of thing. Now on the left-hand side, I don't know if it's going to mirror or whatever on my camera. On the left-hand side, I have the preamp out. On the right-hand side, I have the effects send out. Now I did notice the effects send out. It was a lot more. There was a lot more like life to it. I guess you could say like it was a lot more dynamic. You could feel a lot more, and it sounded a little bit better. At least that's just from the earphones, whatnot. I haven't listened back to it yet because I wanted to sort of just sort of do it and then sort of have my sort of commentary and then go back listen to it after this thing there. So it's gonna be interesting because I mean I wish it was a bit more silent. I'd probably go better if I had a reactive load box because I heard passive load box aren't really the best. You need a reactive one. Now I do have a tube preamp, but I mean I didn't want to go from the preamp into a tube preamp and then whatever because my dash or the interface should be able to do it enough there. So I'll just sort of see what it sounds like and let me know there. Like I said, I wish it was a bit more silent. I mean, I think with master volumes because I had dual rectifier. I had a dual rectifier for a little while there, and that one would actually that one there's a little bit of sound, but it was like minuscule. Like I could sit in my room and do it. Like I probably wouldn't be able to do this too late into the night or whatever. The girlfriend would be freaking banging my door down. That's why the XFX is just amazing for recording demos and stuff. Plus I have a one of these things here, the MIDI commander, mellow MIDI commander. So basically that's cool too. So I can have like my four presets, and then they're all at the bottom, the four presets, and then at the top I have them set up like one is the tuner, two is delay, and then I haven't really chosen what the other two are going to be. Because really I don't use a whole lot of effects and sounds. Like there's a couple of things I'm trying to do for this other sort of project I'm on. But okay, I was actually just going to stop the little demo thing right then and there. Then I got to thinking. I went and created just because this is a 6505 plus clone, as I said earlier. I went and created just a quick preset, and it's just basically gate, drive, amp, cab. So pretty much I use the exact same settings for the cab and everything, and I believe the same settings for the amp power section. And I just basically use the drive as you normally do, like gain at 0 level all the way up. I left the freaking presence high, whatever fucking thing, at 5. So what I did is I just did one side with the effects send of the Bugera that was on the demo just a little bit ago, and then I did one with the axe effects, and I put one on one side, one on the other. So I'm not going to say which side right now. Have a listen and see what you think, because I think I got it pretty freaking close. You can tell there's a bit of difference on the axe effects. I upped the gain just a little bit. I did 6.5 on the gain on the axe effects. So yeah, have a listen and see what you think. yeah, so at the end, it was pretty obvious. I kept the Bugera on the right hand side and then the XFX on the left hand side. And again, there's no post processing. Basically, I just ran 100% left, 100% right, bass in the middle, and then I'm using dicta drums too. So yeah, so I got pretty darn freaking close. Of course, with all of them for recording purposes and for live or whatever, I usually throw in a parametric EQ after the cab before going to the output. Usually, what I'll do is I'll do a high low pass filter like 880, and then the other one at like 8,000, 9,000, and then the 2,000 I'll bump up a little bit with a wide Q. 320 I'll do it right thin, drop down a little bit, and then same at the 800 I'll drop down just a little bit. Now I can't do any miking up to the cab because what I'm using is a it's a PV900 solid state power amp. It's just a like whatever DT stereo power amp, whatever. But it's pretty clean, so I use all my. It pumps up the XFX pretty good. I haven't had a chance to jam with it due to COVID and whatnot. I also ran the XFX into the effects return of the Bugera, so using basically the Bugera as the power amp. But again, I can't mic up my cab right now because it's like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. So I'm hoping that'll be my next one, is basically sort of see the difference between, because I remember when I did it, there wasn't a huge difference, but I'd still like to see it. So yeah, so I'll be doing the next one is what the difference between the solid state with the power amp section from the XFX. And then through the Bugera, I'll be using the Bugera's power amp section, so I'll be turning off the power amp section in the XFX and just sort of see what the difference is. Likely going through my trainer cab, it's got G12 T75s, mic'd up with an SM57. That'll be my goal anyway. I want to get a V30 cab because I think the Marshall just has Celestian types in it. But yeah, that'll be one for another day. Cheers.